I don't think we realize how we sound sometimes until we record ourselves. When we don't, no one likes that really.
Right.
Some people do.
It's the worst.
But it's terrible, like right now. No, but I think that it's very revealing. I think there's a lot of undercurrents that we hear in other families sometimes when we hear them talk to their kids. It's everything's well intentioned, but sometimes you can hear the frustration that's been lingering at times. This is not the first time, obviously, maybe they're addressing something, because it sounds like this is a lot more energy to the way they're communicating. And so I think for us, when we really started to hear ourselves talk, that was the starting point at first of like addressing how we wanted our home to sound. It wasn't necessarily the kids. It was actually they're hearing us more. So if our tone is frustrated in small moments, how can we expect them not to also sound frustrated or elevated or whatever that is? So that became a really critical part of being intentional, was just to evaluate ourselves first, and then, wow, like how do we actually want our kids to respond in these same situations? If I'm frustrated and I don't kind of keep a really level tone, then how can I expect them to do the similar thing?
We're just a giant mirror, basically. We really are.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that comes up often, though, with tone and how we speak to each other, is we just are all naturally, we have an innate way of communicating. Some might be more direct, some might be more gentle by nature. And so it's really also learning to kind of sometimes see through, what we're hearing sometimes, and really getting to the heart of like, okay, what do you actually mean? Because I know you didn't mean to say it like that. I know your intention is love, but like just learning to form those good communication habits. And
teaching ourselves to be self-aware and teach our kids to be self-aware. It's I hear the way you're talking right now, but it sounds like you're really frustrated. And just even repeating it out loud, I think it completely changes the atmosphere of how the family communicates too. When we're recognizing it, we're saying things like, I love what you have to say, but I would really like it if you said it in a tone that I'm talking to you in right now, because then it feels like we can have a better conversation.
Yeah.
But that just takes like
practice.
So much repetition and practice.
I feel like for me, I do a lot of the yelling and screaming in our house, and then the kids do a lot of the yelling and screaming in our house as well. But they're just kind of like you said, we're big mirrors, but I think they're little mirrors. And so, like growing up, one of the only emotion really allowed in my house, being raised by a single father and my grandmother, was anger, and my dad was the only one allowed to have it. And so there was he was allowed to yell and scream, but heaven forbid anybody else have any other emotion or show their own anger. And so I think that's kind of been one of the things that I have brought into the house that I've been trying to work on and stuff. And I just seen a quote the other day. It said, it ran in the family until it ran into me. And that's that hit me kind of hard. I'm like, oh, that's something that I really need to get better at working on. Like I've been working on it, but I think I could do a better job of working on it in the same sense. So.
Well, and honestly, we're in the South, right? We value respect. We value how our kids speak to us. And so it's an interesting dynamic, because I feel like, right, we're always like, the way we were taught and the way we were raised was very much like, well, I'm the parent, this is my home, so I can have whatever tone I want to have, and you're going to respect that, and you're going to know the rules of this house because you're in my house. And there is an element of that we still value, in the sense of like, hey guys, like the Lord put us in charge. Like we are the parents, we are to guide and teach you. And so sometimes we'll have a certain tone, but we've even noticed, right, like we joke about the mirror when the kids are little, and let's say we accidentally say a bad word, or we say a word we don't want them to say, right? And they say it, and then it's like, oh, no, we can't say that around them. We can't do that. But now this tone thing has been such a convicting part of our parenting recently, I feel like, because our kids are doing conflict, right? And they're getting to this age where they talk back, right? Like they're definitely at an age now where it's not mom and dad says everything and that's just the dream and it's perfect and we just obey and that's just rule. Now it's that cognitive, that thinking, that processing. They want to buck the system sometimes. And so
They learn
when
about the system every time.
every time. It's true. And so when they do, though, and they come at us, then we're like, whoa, you don't talk to us like that, right? Like we draw the line in the sand. But then it's like, okay, but then how are they supposed to actually know how to communicate if we're not doing that for them?
Yeah.
And so it's like a hole in our parenting and even just how we were raised of how does a child actually learn other than being like, don't talk to me like that, or you won't talk to me like that in this home because I'm the whatever, unless we actually model and show them. But we were never, it's that hard dynamic of also going, but we also value at the end of the day, this is my home. And you will respect the rules we have in this home, right? Because some kids, they're like, oh, I don't care if you talk to me in the most beautifully packaged way. I'm coming at you. Are you ready? You know what I mean? And that's where it's that like grit, that like of like, oh no.
But also all of our kids are getting to the age where they're just arguing with each other all the time, and they don't know how to argue unless they're screaming.
Right.
Because it's kind of like daddy yells and screams because he doesn't feel heard, or mama screams and yells because she doesn't feel heard. Now it's like they all got to that age where it's like they don't feel like anybody's hearing them unless they're screaming. And so you get 6 people in the house screaming, I'm sure the neighbors are like, I'm about to call the cops.
Or if you're not on the same page, right? I think a big thing about tone in your home is the parents have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, literally the other day, it was like our son had disagreements with his father. And he was talking to Brian a certain way, and I was like, whoa. And I literally said, stop. You're not going to talk to my husband like that in front of me. Second, you're arguing like your daddy. And Brian, and I looked at Brian and I was like, that's not me trying to dishonor you. I actually love you so much. But are you recognizing, like, that's not even your heart. That's when you're in anger and frustration and you mess up in a moment. Are we seeing the fruit of that? So that's why even if we get all of this, if we are on the same page as our tone, then in those moments of weakness, we still have boundaries that we're not willing to cross because we know that they're just absorbing, right? Those sponges. And it's like, yeah. It's interesting.
I have looked up on Amazon. They actually make decibel readers that have an alarm. That can I'm like, I'm just going to put this in like a central location in our house, so that way, whenever I'm screaming, it's kind of like a quick reminder, like, hey, you're too loud.
You're just-
You can get you a shot collar.
Yeah,
Just a dog
that's
collar.
in the garage.
Easy. Just,
I mean,
I don't want to drop.
we
myself
can
down.
do hard things.
we can do
We
our
can do hard things.
That's a little too hard.
I feel super grateful because this is not an area I've ever struggled with ever. Just to execute flawlessly. Naturally.
Don't want to brag.
No, it's something that we have also been really cognitive of and really intentional about maybe the last year or two in particular. But I think something that is absolutely critical as it relates to the conversation of tone, but extending outside of the conversation, is when you miss the mark.
Yes.
And I'll talk about me. When I miss the mark, is actually apologizing
Yes.
and cleaning up your mess. And so I had a situation the other day where I was disciplining my son. Was that just yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday. And I disciplined my son. And generally speaking, like one of my convictions or boundaries is like, if I'm going to discipline one of the kids, I don't want to do it in anger. And so I need to make sure that I'm fully self-controlled, that even my tone is like, hey guys, look, I love you, but the way you're acting right now versus like, I can't believe, whatever. And so I had a situation yesterday with my son where he lost it and I lost it. And so now I'm mirroring like we're talking about. And I called Erin about an hour later and I apologized to her. But then I came home and I actually brought him back to the exact spot where the moment happened. And I said, hey buddy, do you remember this morning? Dad just wants to say, I'm sorry. Like that wasn't right. I should not have talked to you that way. I shouldn't have responded that way. This is the way that I should have done it. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
And, Lauren and I, our brother and sister, we had excellent parents. I don't know that I remember a lot, and maybe it did, and I just don't remember hearing my parents apologize to me.
Yeah.
And I think that is really, really, really profound, that they understand like, oh, you guys miss it too. And when you do, you make it right.
Yeah.
Because I want you to take responsibility for your actions. But if I'm going to ask you to do that, then I have to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's humbling, but it is so healthy and good for the soul to look at a 2-year-old and say, sweetheart, I am sorry. Daddy should not have acted that way.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Yeah.
And I don't see that modeled a lot in families. And so, yeah. But on a more light, like like exciting level, I think the frequency of our home, the tone is laughter. And I want anybody that walks into my home knowing, like, if we go to the Gilms tonight, I can promise you, you're going to laugh your butt off. You know,
Cool.
and if not, like, I feel like we've messed up. You know, because it is so natural and innate to our personality types and our gifts that I want people to experience that. And I think that provides an immense amount of relief and peace and joy. And so, on the positive side, that's something that we've been cultivating. What would you say?
Well, I was going to say those exact things. No, it's fine. It's cool. We're married. Laughter being a huge one. Like you said, when people come in, like we love hosting. We do like a big Christmas party every year for friends because I'm obsessed with Christmas. And it's so fun because I'm like, I just want us all to have a good time and I want it to laugh and like memories. And I think of that with our kids. I suffer from crippling nostalgia. And so I want my kids to like think back on different parts of their childhood and have these like really fond memories. And that usually is, you know, involving a lot of laughter. But speaking to the apologies as well, that's a huge one for me specifically. I have wonderful parents. They are not married anymore. And one of the dynamics was one of my parents, I've never heard apologize. And that has caused it makes a difference. How am I the first one to cry on this?
Honestly,
What a loser.
I can't believe it.
Out of everybody
But she
here.
broke it up with laughter.
Yeah, right.
Which is so shocking. It really is.
It really is.
I'm so annoyed right now. My God, how obnoxious that I'm the first one to cry. It's okay if you cry. It's just not okay if I cry.
Very healthy.
Healthy home.
We're working on it, okay? It's a skill set we're trying.
Anyways, I've just experienced the negative side of that where it was like an imbalance. And it wasn't even like, oh, I needed you to apologize to me. Well, you know, that has happened. But it was like, oh, but I've seen certain things happen that I didn't see you apologize for, that I was just an outsider looking in. But seeing that, you know, over the years, it's just like, oh, this is a really big deal. So that's something that like we put our foot down. We mess up all the time. We're gonna mess up so much more. But it's just like, we will apologize for the little things, for the big things. Like, I'll apologize for things that I might have done wrong. Because if there's anything I know, it's just like this can't do harm. Apologizing for where I've messed up can only do good.
And it also, I was just going to add, it also restores the standard.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way that we conduct life in the Gillum home. And so you're going to miss the mark. That's called being human, no problem. But without that apology, the implication is it's actually acceptable for me to behave this way.
Yes.
And so now you've created a new pattern, a new trajectory that doesn't align with your values and your mission. And so to me, I always want to apologize and say, like, this is the standard, you know, and let's stay here, you know, and when we mess up, it's okay, but I'm going to bring you back up or bring myself back up.
So interesting, like humility has a certain tone to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and it just carries through to the next event that happens because you've already apologized for that thing. And so now you kind of walk into the next scenario that may be similar with a different tone. I think we kind of forget that, again, like we are the mirrors, you know, and so everything we do, the way we say it, the way we respond, I think it's obviously going to be the biggest impact on our family and our family culture. And I think that for us, one thing that was so hard was how do we, like, when we recognize it, like how do we shift? Right? Like you talked about not wanting to maybe raise your voice as much. It's great to want to do that. It's hard because you've been just wired like that your whole life. It's not your fault. It's just wired in you. And so obviously there's professionals that can help with different scenarios. But I think for us, one thing, a tool that helped us was the 3 C's as we just kind of think through it, which was just to connect, to clarify, and then create a new way forward, and just doing that over and over and over. And you basically just perfectly described it. You know, you connected with your child on the event. You clarified your intention. You clarified what exactly you were trying to do. And then you just created a new way forward. You created a plan of how you're going to do it the next time. And it doesn't mean it's going to be a light switch. I think we all think and we all want that, you know, instant change, but it just is not realistic. You know, you have to just have a formula that you just keep trying and repeating, and that will eventually stack up. Those little wins will just stack up, and all of a sudden day you'll look back and be like, oh my word. I think that's what we've noticed is the tone part of it. Constantly recognize it. Even Shelby will recognize to me, hey, you seem like you're elevated right now, or it seems like, and I won't even maybe recognize it. Okay, let's just rinse and repeat. And eventually we've just noticed like such a significant change over time of just how we want even our kids to communicate with each other, right? And now they're hopefully trying to pick that up. So
Yeah. And I think something that's key too is we want to correct instantly as parents, but correcting before connecting with them, it's never really leads to a better outcome. Like I think connecting first before correcting is something that we also have tried to do, like really connecting with what is the issue or what's bothering you, like kind of getting it out of them first and then proceeding to like, okay, here's how it can solve the problem.
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Nice, good.
I have one more thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Can I do it really
Yeah,
quick?
yeah.
Okay, I think it's interesting because you just answered this. What do you hope people feel when they visit our home? So
Done.
you get to have a bye on this question. What about you two? What do you hope people feel when they visit your home?
Belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want every, and no, I'm gonna go.
I think one thing that we feel like we carry really well is always having a seat at the table for anybody.
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure that anybody that comes in our house or whatever feels welcome and invited and wanted, and that they always have a place in our house.
Love that.
Yeah. I think our parents moved here a couple of years ago, and they live pretty close to us. And my mom jokes with me all the time about our home being like a swinging door. And she was like, you have such an eclectic group of friends. Like they're all pretty different. And you have all these different people in your home. And she was like, Lauren, that's how you were even growing up. You would bring
The most random.
the most random people in our home. And I was like,
It's usually boys you wanted to date.
listen,
Wow.
That's a different show.
That's this show now.
yeah.
A local expert.
I didn't have a
Terry
type.
Springer?
Yeah. I didn't have a type, or my type was the heart, right? Like that's the thing, is the value is like we see people's hearts, and we very much were just going, you have a place at my table. You belong. And if you're not seen, known, and loved by anyone else, you will be by us.
I think I have our answer.
Okay.
I think that what I want people to feel like when they come in our home is rest. They can come in and just, if they want to have a nap, they can have a nap. If they want to sit outside on the swing by themselves, they can sit outside on the swing. But they feel loved and cared for, and it's a place of just rest. And you can just come as you are, really.
It's interesting.
Would
I
you-
had
What did you have?
I had safety.
Okay.
I always thought of our place as I wanted our home to feel like a safe space. And that means kind of coming as you are. And I don't think you can take a nap if you don't feel safe. So,
True. We've
you
had
know.
friends have naps in our house.
So yeah, no, that I think safety, and where people can just come in authentically as themselves and kind of have a place to grow